Em với sĩ của đoàn Thư nhi Andre cũng là với Steven. Hôm nay chúng ta sẽ đến với bài học của phong trào Thư nhi thánh thể Việt Nam và Thư nhi thánh thể Việt Nam tại Hoa Kỳ. History and Movement of VEYM. And this is to Trần Minh Hải. So to begin this lesson today, we're gonna begin with a prayer. Xin Đức Cha và Con và Thánh Thần. Amen. Lạy Cha chúng con ở trên trời, chúng con nguyện dân Cha cả sáng, nước Cha chỉ đến, ý Cha thể hiện dưới đất cũng như trên trời. Xin Cha cho chúng con hôm nay lương thực hàng ngày và tha nợ chúng con, như chúng con cũng tha kẻ có nợ chúng con. Xin Cha để chúng con ra trước cám dỗ, nhưng cứu chúng con cho khỏi sự Amen. Thank you Lord for our first holiday Thanksgiving, and please keep us safe for the next week, and keep us away from the sick, and keep us healthy for the whole week next week. Chúng con cùng cầu xin Chúa nhận lời chúng con. Xin Cha và Con và Thánh Thần. Amen. History and movement of VYM today. We're going to go to these three sections of today. The first one is origin of the youth movement from the year 1850s to the year 1929. The second one will be the Eucharistic crusade in Vietnam from the year 1929 to 1975. And the last one will be Vietnamese Eucharistic Society in the US. The first section is origins of youth movement from the year 1850s to the year 1929. There are two groups that our foundation came from. The first group was Prayer Apostolate and the Eucharistic Crusade in France. These two groups were founded in France. And the first group was the Prayer Apostolate. It was on the year 1861 to the year 1915. And on the year 1852 to 1856, Father Henry Ramirez, a French Jesus, he founded the Monday magazine called The Message of the Sacred Heart in an effort to promote devotion to the Eucharist through devotion to the heart of Jesus and unite the souls into the heart of Jesus and make constant acts of sacrifice for the benefit of the church. And on the year 1861, the prayer of apostolate was officially approved by Catholic authorities and adopting Father Henry's objectives and its status. The statutes were approved by the Congregation of the Bishops and became lawful and allowed to be applied throughout the church. And on the year 1910, Pope Pius X decreed quam singularly, allowing the children from 7 years old and older to receive communion. The quam singularis decree became the catalyst for the growth of prayer apostolate as it began to spread to another nation. And this is a picture of Tr.Hai Tran. And now we're gonna go to the second group. It's called Eucharistic Crusade, and this group was founded in France from the year 1915 to the year 1929. And this is one of the pictures of that group with the uniform. On November 30, 1915, Father Albert Berrier proposed the Children's Crusade to the 28 children at Bordeaux, France. On the year 1916, it was renamed to the Eucharistic Crusade and was approved by the Archbishop of Bordeaux. And this was a new plan of prayer apostles. It served the purpose of mobilizing young people throughout the nation to carry out the task of praying, performing acts of sacrifice, attending Mass, praying for the country, and praying for the peaceful death of the dying. The Eucharistic Crusade is called Đạo Binh Thánh Thể in Vietnamese, is a direct precursor for the youth movement in Vietnam. On the year 1922, the organization also put forth four models. These were the bốn khẩu hiệu thiếu nhi. The first one is the prayer, the cầu nguyện. The second one is Eucharistic, the rước lễ. And the third one is fighting or sacrifice, execution. And the fourth one was the conquering. The apostolic act is làm việc tông đồ. And its meaning, prayer is offering prayer, and Eucharistic is the union with Jesus in the Holy Eucharistic. And sacrifice offer the difficulties of the day as offering of sacrifice. And apostolic act was the missionary by means of prayer. And now we're going to go to the second section of today, the Eucharistic Crusade in Vietnam from the year 1929 to 1975. The birth of the Eucharistic Crusade in Vietnam. The Eucharistic Crusade was called Đạo Binh Thánh Thể too. Then on that year, Father Leon Currier, or called Charlie, and Father Paul Urovia Jadon, they brought the Eucharistic Crusade to the seminarian at St. Tr.Hai Major Seminaries in Liễu Giai, Ly, Hà Nội. This was how they look like at that time. And now we're gonna go to the growth and milestone on the year 1930. Then on December 1st, 1931, the first Nghĩa Binh Thánh Thể group were officially established as École Primaire in Hà Nội, or the Premier School in Hanoi, with a strictly religious school, and this is the school at that time. In 1931 in Hanoi and Huế Diocese, it is an honor for the family to have children joining nghĩa bên thánh thể. And on the 1932, in Phát Diệm and Tr.Hai Diocese, publication and training material issue, and uniform rules and offering prayer of the day was declared. And on 1935, in Vinh and Saigon Diocese, and on the year 1937 in Bùi Chu Diocese, and Bishop Hồ Ngọc Cảnh transformed the Eucharistic crusade into a Catholic action group. And this is a picture of Bishop Hồ Ngọc Cảnh. And now we're gonna see how their uniform back there look like. This was white đồng phục and with the big red cross. Now we're gonna see how they maintain our movement from the year 1940 to 1950s. This was a difficult time because on the year 1940s, a period of great difficulty and challenge. The communism and colonialism grew strong in the north and began to cause division between the north and the south. New government authorities make efforts to halt the growth of the organization and restrain its activities. In 1945, causing much pain and suffering for the people all throughout the country. Few parishes were still able to organize conferences to promote morality, share inspirational stories, and share news of various group activities. On the year 1954, the countries were split into North and South Vietnam, and many northern local organizations had their activities limited, if not completely forbidden. Prayer and daily mass still existed, but organizational structure completely disappeared in the north. In the south, local organizations began to blossom and spread to rural areas such as Mỹ Tho, Phú Cường, and Xuân Lộc. There were three dioceses. In the year 1957, the Vietnamese Conference of Bishops delegated Father Michael Nguyễn Khắc Ngữ to be the first Nghĩa binh Thánh thể General Chaplain at that time. And this is his picture. And this is now Thiếu nhi Thánh thể is our name for right now. And the new General Chaplain on 1964, Father Michael Nguyễn Khắc Ngữ became Bishop of Long Xuyên, so Father Paul Nguyễn Văn Thẳng became the new Nghĩa binh Thánh thể General Chaplain. The first conference of the chaplains was on November 28th to November 30th of 1964. This was held in Saigon. And to find a direction for all the Nghĩa binh Thánh thể groups. It contained a goals and methods of education. And on that conference, it proposed the name change to Eucharistic Youth Movement, and At that conference, they changed the name from Eucharistic Crusade to the name Eucharistic Youth Movement or Thiếu nhi thánh thể. And the structure, the unified structure in the nation as a whole. Each diocese had its own chaplain, working with the National General Chaplain. And on that conference, they have some changes. Each diocese established the temporary management board of leaders. The 10 rules by Nguyễn Văn Vẽ, by Father Nguyễn Văn Vẽ of Vĩnh Long, were the 10 điều tâm niệm thiếu nhi, is called 10 điều luật thiếu nhi thánh thể. Thiếu nhi dâng ngày mỗi sáng, làm cho đời sống hóa lên lời cầu. Thiếu nhi tôn sùng thánh thể, siêng năng chịu lễ viếng Chúa nhà giàu. Thiếu nhi hy sinh chịu khó, luôn nhìn thánh giá cực khổ vẫn vui. Thiếu nhi nhờ mẹ quyết thắng, luôn làm gương sáng chứng một tông đồ. Thiếu nhi vâng lời mẹ cha và hết những kẻ chỉ huy phong trào. Thiếu nhi nết na đậm thắm, giữ mình trong trắng trong cách nói làm. Thiếu nhi giàu tình bác ái, tim luôn quảng đại giúp kẻ con mình. Thiếu nhi một lòng thành thực, nói làm đúng mực không dối không ngoa. Thiếu nhi chuyên cần bổn phận, việc làm đúng đắn, không bỏ nửa chừng. Thiếu nhi biên kho mỗi tối, thật thà không chối, cộng góp hàng tuần. It was a different reading, but it's the same meaning of our 10 điều tâm niệm right now. And hội đồng lãnh đạo were established, and they proposed the first bylaw, and president were chosen was chữ Peter Nguyễn Văn Liêm. They had the new bylaw on January 1971. The Conference of Vietnamese Bishops approved the new VAYM bylaw on the year 1972. The Provincial Convention, these were the first về đất hứa. The convention of all huân trưởng thiếu nhi in Vietnam. And the convention were held in Saigon, which strictly religious rules. Now this slide you can see that TNT flag, the Vietnamese flag, and the US flag. We're gonna go to the VEYF in the US now. The Vietnamese Eucharistic Society in the US from the year 1975 to present. The new chief, 1975, the fall of Saigon. The Vietnamese Eucharistic Youth Movement leaders and chaplains established the various groups in the refugee camp. On 1976, the VEYM group started in the last Vietnamese communities in the USA. On 1984, the VEYM in the USA officially established, and they have sa mạc về đất hứa số 1. And the National Conference of Chaplains, Assistant Chaplains, and Leaders. In the year 1984, the same year, the first General Chaplain was Father Dominic Phú Thanh Tượng. The temporary National Acoustic Committee President was trưởng Phêrô Nguyễn Văn Liêm. The Vice President was trưởng Du Xe Nguyễn Đình Mạnh Trường, and the Secretaries were trưởng Du Xe Đặng Văn Kiếm, and the Treasurer was trưởng Maria Đinh Kim Nguyệt. The good news and the bad news after that. In 1984, Father Dominic Vũ Thanh Tường passed away. After a few days return from New Orleans, he passed away just a few days after he returned from the conference. And the second general chaplain was the Father Francis Phạm Văn Phương, was replaced to Father Dominic Vũ Thanh Tường. And after many terms from the year 1984 to now, we have the chaplain and executive committee for right now is the general chaplain cha tổng tuyên úy is Father Bình Nguyễn, assistant general chaplain cha phó tổng tuyên úy is Father Thông Ngô, the national executive committee. President of the National Executive Committee, Chủ tịch Ban chấp hành Trung ương, trưởng Dương Hoàng, and Vice President of Academic Affairs, Phó Chủ tịch Nghiêm huấn is trưởng Đức Đào, and Vice President of Administrative Affairs, Phó Chủ tịch Quản trị, right, trưởng Viên Nguyễn, and General Secretary is trưởng Hiếu Ngô, and Treasurer is trưởng Đào Nguyễn. Cảm ơn các em. This is all I have for today with the lesson of TNTC history. Wow, mình phải cầu nguyện trước khi mình say goodbye chứ hả? Nhân danh Cha và Con và Thánh Thần. Amen. Sáng danh Đức Chúa Cha và Đức Chúa Con và Đức Chúa Thánh Thần, như đã có trước vô cùng và bây giờ và hằng có và đời đời chẳng cùng. Amen. Lạy Chúa Giêsu Thánh Thể, con cảm ơn Chúa nếu mà chúng con đến với nhau. Cảm ơn Chúa đã cho chúng con những điều kiện technology để chúng con có thể học tập với nhau, hiểu biết thêm về Chúa, về phong trào. Và đặc biệt hôm nay chúng con đã học thêm vì đâu và ở đâu, như thế nào phong trào chúng con đã hình thành và phát triển. Cho thánh ý Chúa, chúng con xin Chúa tiếp tục thánh hóa phong trào chúng con để chúng con thêm yêu mến Chúa Giêsu Thánh Thể hơn. Chúng con vừa cầu xin Chúa nhận lời chúng con. Như Cha và Con và Thánh Thần. Amen. Chào các em nha. Hopefully we can see each other in person soon. Mong chúng ta có thể gặp lại càng sớm càng tốt. Xin Chúa cho cơn bệnh dịch mau qua khỏi để chúng con có thể gặp nhau lại. Cảm ơn các em và see you later on the next session with Tr.Hai. Wait for it and you're gonna see me again. Bye bye.